Before you marry somebody raggedy,
you need to make that list. Hey everybody, welcome back to Life in the Matrix podcast. On this episode, we're going to be talking about how to choose a life partner.
Babe, can you believe this is episode 3?
I know, right?
I mean, wow. And you remember you made a list before you chose me?
That's right. We got a lot to talk about in this episode.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please give us some comments and we'll try to get to all of them.
Yes.
Today we decided to talk about how to choose a mate. This is probably the most important decision anybody can make. I am so thankful for my wife. I'm so thankful for my parents. I love my parents, the family, the friends, the mentors that kind of modeled good behavior. And I think that helped me to realize what it was that I wanted in my life. So when it came time for us, for me to make the choice, it was easy because I already knew what it was that I wanted and what it looked like. How about you? How did you come to choose me?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Okay. Choosing a life partner is one of the biggest decisions that you'll make in your life. We shared our how we met story in episode 2, and we talked about this gentleman, Mr. Joyner, who kind of was our matchmaker. He encouraged us to make a list. He said on one side, write down all of the things you would like in an ideal mate, and on the other side, write all the deal breakers. One of the top things on the list for me was he had to have a relationship with God. Okay. A true one, not a superficial relationship. And then honesty was important, respect. Mm-hmm. Were you family oriented? Person couldn't be cheap. And you weren't. And you weren't. So, and for me, some people may think that sounds superficial, but this is my list, right?
Yeah,
this is a person, this is
what
list. I wanted in an ideal mate for me. I felt emotionally safe with you. I felt like I could be my true self with you. My strongest and healthiest boundary was your relationship with Christ, because I was feeling, well, if you have that relationship, then your values, the likelihood of your values aligning with my values were better.
Right.
The likelihood of us being equally yoked, what started right out the gate. Yeah. If you had no relationship, I'm like, yeah, I don't have time for that.
Right. You also said, I thought that was kind of funny. You said I had to meet a height requirement?
Well, yeah, that was anybody. I've been the same height since 7th grade. Tall girls, when you're tall early on, you have a tendency, and you're shy. I was shy. I was painfully shy. So you have a tendency to want to shrink yourself.
Yeah.
And I would say, hey, in choosing a mate, not to digress a little bit, don't shrink yourself. Don't shrink yourself. I didn't feel comfortable dating somebody who was not taller than me. Gotcha.
Yes. And I'm glad you pointed that out, because sometimes these things may sound superficial. If it's important to you, it's important. And you got to be true to yourself. Hey, I just want to mention a couple of facts that are pretty obvious. I find it's like amazing that 50% of people who get married get divorced. 50%.
50%.
That's like a lot of people.
That's half.
I think I've heard other statistics that would suggest that 75% of those divorces are initiated by women. That's a lot. And so getting married is easy. It's kind of like, when you go to get on a roller coaster ride or you get ready to go down a little shooty shoot, there's like a gate to keep you from doing it. And they got to make sure you're the right height and all that.
That's right.
But when you get married, there's nothing to stop you from rushing in. You can just get married.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, it's hard to get out. And that getting out is what causes divorce lawyers to get paid.
Yes.
I think, if I could rule the world for a couple of days, we should have to take a class in order to get married, or at least at a minimum, seek out some therapy. I just wanted to take a minute just to share some of the things that I've heard in therapy, working with couples. I don't know what it is, but many of us, we don't have a very sophisticated way of choosing our mate. And a lot of times when I ask a gentleman, hey, sir, brother, what was you thinking when you decided to choose your wife? What were you thinking? And a lot of the responses are a lot like, well, Mr. Johnson, she really looked good. She was so beautiful. She was fine. Or, even worse, Mr. Johnson, I shouldn't even tell you this, but when she got to twerking, it was like, I didn't know what to do. And I just, it's like, that's just not the right kind of,
right.
That's not the way you should go about making.
That's not the right criteria.
Yeah, that's not the right, well, that shouldn't be the only criteria.
That's right.
And a lot of times when I would ask women, hey, why did you choose your husband? What was going on? What was the thought process? A lot of times I would hear things like, well, Mr. Johnson, he said that he loved me. I'm like, oh, okay. Was there anything else? Yes, he's such a nice person and he cares for me. And I'm thinking, wow, these are the sort of things. Now, this answer is probably a little bit better than the answers I would hear from some of the gentlemen. But these are things that you easily can fake.
Yes.
So these aren't necessarily great ways to go about making the choice.
Right.
What I have found, I guess in summary, is a lot of times men are misled by what they see because they're just using their eyes or the physical. And a lot of times I find women are misled by what they hear. So at any rate, I just have three things to help couples or, people make a better decision in choosing their mate. Number one, and you kind of touched on it, is know thyself.
One of the things, babe, we didn't talk about is, I wrote a list, about who's my ideal mate, but I also was working on me. Loving who you are is very important before you even choose a mate. Whatever's on your list for an ideal mate, really, you should say, hey, am I that person?
Yeah.
Do I check off these things on the list for myself?
Some people hate being alone. They're young people and they just hate being alone. They'll just take anybody.
Right.
And
some older people.
Yeah, some older people too. Stop trying to love people who don't love you, right? We probably should not be about all that chasing, that kind of thing. You need to ask questions like, do you want kids? You should discuss sex. Money, that's a big one.
Money. When you have a life partner, you need to be able to trust each other. There needs to be mutual respect, and you trust each other with the decisions that you have to make for your family because you are a team. Rule
101 is you cannot control people. Now, you can influence people, but don't try to fix and change people. You should challenge yourself as to how you see gender roles. Because gender roles are changing today.
Sometimes those unrealistic expectations are also unspoken expectations. And next thing you know, you have conflict in your marriage or, both people are miserable. You've chosen a life partner that is not aligned with what your core values are.
Yeah. And some people need to become aware that, and we talked about this on the last episode, some of their thinking is a little distorted or skewed or biased. Number two, we need to look at how that person deals with disagreements. Okay, we got to look at how they deal with disagreements. Do they listen, or are they just trying to win the argument? Because some people, depending on what you do in your day-to-day work, like somebody might be the vice president or something, and he immediately comes home in that mode, he or she, and talks to their mate like they're like a subordinate.
He or she doesn't know how to turn it off, when they come into the household. And that makes a difference. If somebody always wants to control, then that person could become manipulative when they're in every engagement. If they didn't make the decision, the person who wants to always be in control will always shoot down or not respect their partner's input because they want to be in control. I don't know how many couples have come to me in therapy and said, I don't feel heard. I don't feel heard. I don't feel seen.
And number three, we should get the input from wise, trusted people in our lives. Okay? Love can cloud your judgment.
Yes. You should allow your circle of influence to also assess this person. They may see right through this facade that the person has presented to you. He's nice and he loves me. And you take him to the family dinner and everybody's like, he's bad news.
Yeah, right.
And I think we should be open to receiving that information from your circle of influence, as opposed to just, well, you're just jealous of me or whatever, or I'm going to do what I want to do.
I also want to give a shout out to one of your colleagues, Jocelyn Ortega.
Actually, one of my former students.
Yeah. Well, anyway, she's awesome. She has an awesome book that deals with the art of the relationship. Art of relationships. Yes. That's what it is, I think. And what I remember when I read the book is what really resonated with me is how people spend more time planning a vacation or thinking about how they're going to buy the next car than what they, the effort that they put into choosing a mate. And that has to be dealt with. And because once you spent that time in, you know what you want. I remember the rapper from Chicago, what's his name? Common. I love that line where he says, it doesn't take all day to recognize sunshine. And by the time I met you, it was like, boop. So at any rate, know thyself, make sure they can handle disagreements, and get some input from trusted people in your life. I want to just conclude and say that you should pick people based on purpose, not just pleasure. Because some of these things that bring about pleasure
are fleeting.
They're fleeting, and they may fade.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may need to seek therapy if you've been exposed to trauma, if at all possible. Once you've picked that mate, just remember, that's just the beginning. You still need to work on self.
Yes.
And you still need to work on your communication with that person. Yeah. We talked about this in the first episode from John and Julie Gottman. They said you want to keep these 4 things out of your communication. You don't want to be overly critical. And if you're going to be critical, make sure you remember to connect. Connect first before you criticize. Try not to be overly defensive. Try not to be too disrespectful. And try not to just shut down altogether and not communicate. Remember, this is how you have and live your best life.
What he said.
All right.
And make sure that you're really tracking it before you go to the altar, because like we said, it's easy to get married. It's harder to get divorced.
It's hard to get out. But if you do mistakenly marry an alligator or a dragon.
Or sheep in wolf's clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just something
Or
raggedy.
the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah. It's probably not a bad idea to get out.
That's right.
Hey, we didn't give the disclaimer, but hey, this is for educational and informational purposes. We're both therapists, but we're not your therapists.
Yes.
So if you do need therapy, please seek or call a licensed clinician or a coach.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
We'll see you on the next
Thank you.
episode.
Bye.